We are into the home straight here on Football Spy. Just 1 week left for the Daily Mirror's football transfer roundup service, sponsored by our friends at Renault. And one transfer giving us the runaround last week was Joleon Lescott to Manchester City. We passed to you last week Mark Hughes' comments at his weekly press conference about ending his interest in Lescott after all the trouble it's caused, only for Hughes to come out a few hours later and insist, well, actually, City haven't pulled out at all. Thanks, Mark. In fact, they've gone completely the other way and should announce a signing of Lescott within the next 24 hours or so, and another saga will finally be over. Here's the Mirror. I'd like you to tell me whether Lescott's worth the money. Is he a £24 million player? Is he £9 million better than Toure? £14 million better than Vermaelen at Arsenal? Is he £15 million better than Bassong at Spurs, or £9 million better than Raul Albiol, who's gone to Real Madrid for £15 million? I want to know what you think. You know what I think. I'd be very interested to know where you're coming from. Elsewhere, West Ham are having one of those moments you only find in Football Manager, where you've done a deal to get the player that you really want, but you haven't got the cash, so you desperately try to get one of your existing players out of the door. That's what they're doing with the defender James Collins. Aston Villa are the club he's talking to over a £5 million deal so that they can bring in the Bordeaux striker Marouane Chamakh. Chamakh would form an excellent strike partnership with Carlton Cole, who was so unlucky to finish on the losing side against Spurs yesterday. I was there, and I can tell you Spurs probably will do well this season, but Cole on his own posed their back for all sorts of problems, and I think Spurs perhaps need a couple more tough midfielders before they can start thinking of the top four. West Ham can start thinking big if they bring in Ida Gudjohnsen on loan, as the Sun say that they're close to doing. I hear from talking to a few people at West Ham yesterday that the Livorno striker Alessandro Diamante could yet be on the cards as well. He's 26, scored 16 goals last season. Time for your messages, and Frank in Houston, looks like he's getting a bit more out of the show than most of you. He says here, am I the only one who's noticed all the nice quality ladies that you had parading in the background in Friday's show? Say hi from the States to the girl who passes by on 6 minutes 34. I'll let you check that out. Easy, Frank. Man United Rooney 10 doesn't think Sir Alex needs to panic buy, and that he should have faith in the current squad and wait until January if he wants to spend. Omar in Vancouver agrees. He says here, I believe we still have the goods and we don't need any additional signings. Sir Alex just needs to put the right players in at the right time. Omar also says, like lots of you, and I'm only just realising this through looking at your emails this morning, that Rooney needs to take more penalties. Lots of you not happy with Carrick taking penalties. Very interesting indeed. Jake Verdugo thinks Sir Alex should buy Van der Vaart from Real Madrid, although I have to tell you that the word in Spain is that just 2 Premier League clubs are in for him, Arsenal and Liverpool. Interesting, because the word is that Liverpool don't have any money, Arsenal do, and especially with Fabregas injured, maybe that could happen. A couple more stories for you, and Newcastle have had a flying start to life in the Championship. Another cracking weekend for them, winning against Palace. Now they're going to beef up their attacking options by signing the Forest striker Rob Earnshaw for £3 million. And we told you last week that Everton was close to signing another player from Newcastle, the defender Stephen Taylor, who'd be an excellent replacement for Lescott at £8 million. And Mark Hughes is about to make the most surprising signing yet at Man City. Lots of papers say that he's trying to get the former Arsenal left-back Silvinho on a free transfer. You can pick up the Frank Ribery's for free if you guess how much he moves clubs for. Just want to read this email we've got in from Vinny, because he says, I've got 2 questions for you, Darren. 1, what makes you so sure that Ribery will go? And 2, what do you think he's actually worth? Well, the reason I think he will go, despite what he's been saying about staying at Bayern Munich, is that Kaka wanted to stay at AC Milan, but they sold when they got an offer they couldn't refuse. Also, in his autobiography, Ancelotti at Chelsea named Ribery as one of the 2 players that he felt could actually improve the Chelsea side. And the third reason is that we've seen so many times here on Spy over the last couple of years that clubs are willing to wait until the very last day to get their man. We saw that with Berbatov and Man United last year, Man City and Robinho last year, Arsenal and Gallas a couple of years ago. Now, as for how much I think Ribery is worth, well, personally, I don't value him as being more than about £40 million. That's just me. I'll let you decide how much he's worth. Colin in Corvallis, Oregon says here, I've never written in, but I must take a shot for the boots. My guess is that Frank goes for £52.5 million, and I hope that he goes to Man U so that my team Arsenal have some good competition from them this year. Very cheeky. Omar from Vancouver doesn't think that he'll move at all. Just to say that if you've been following Spy, you'll know that if Ribery doesn't move, then we won't continue the competition. We'll do another one. So saying that he's not going to move doesn't count. And Michael White thinks he'll go for £70 million. Not too convinced about that. Two more stories for you, and if you've got the Blackburn defender Stephen Warnock in your fantasy team and you're wondering why he didn't play at the weekend, it's because Sam Allardyce dropped him. Aston Villa want him, and there's a touch of the Lescots about this one, as Villa have yet to come up with the £8 million that Rovers want. Now Allardyce is saying that unless Villa do, then he will cup tie Warnock for the Carling Cup game against Gillingham tomorrow by playing him, obviously. And we end with Everton today because they've already earmarked some more of the Lescott money for another player, the classy Lokomotiv Moscow winger Bilyaletdinov. And I practiced that one all morning. It cost around about £10 million. We already know from Arshavin and Pavlyuchenko that Russian players can settle in the Premier League. If you can cope with some more Football Spy, then I'll be back tomorrow with all my pronunciations correct. Hopefully I'll see you then.